Hey y'all, it's Lauren. Welcome back. Happy Easter. Today I thought it would be the perfect day to sit down and talk with y'all on how I read my Bible, because I really want to plant that seed in someone's life today to just dive into the word more and grow in their relationship with Christ. This video can be for someone that is just diving into their faith, or it can be someone that's already there but wants to know God more, and what better way to do that than to read the Bible. The first thing I think is super important to have is a peaceful place to study. I either study in my room right by my bookshelf, or I go outside in my backyard and it's just so relaxing back there. Or sometimes I'll go in my car and I'll drive down the street to a little bench. Sometimes I'll drive to the park. Just a simple, peaceful, quiet place where you feel like you can focus the most. You're obviously going to need a Bible. I have mine right here. I know that there is a Bible app that you can get on your phone if you can't go out and buy a Bible right now. Another thing I think is really important to have is a notebook. I have mine right here just to take notes and do whatever you want. But I think it's super important to take notes because it helps you remember things. You're also gonna need some highlighters and pens to highlight verses and to take notes and stuff. And then if you're like me and you like to doodle in your notes, you can have some other markers too. Another thing that really helps me get in the right headspace to read the Bible and to really focus in on what God is trying to speak into my life is having worship music playing in the background. I'll have my worship playlist on Spotify linked in the description. There's like 300 songs on there, so be prepared. But if you like to have a quiet space and not really any music playing, that's totally fine. It just helps me concentrate more. So you have your place, your Bible, your highlighters and markers, your music. Now let's get into where to actually start in the Bible. I know it can be super overwhelming just because there's so many books and passages, you just don't know where to start. But Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the Gospels, so it's basically the story of Jesus, and I think it's a great place to start. I found this picture online and it kind of gives like an overview of what Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John talk about. So I'll leave that picture on the screen for a couple seconds. If you want to read it, you can screenshot it or whatever. I just think it's a really good overview of what Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are all about. So I know it can be difficult to try and stay motivated to get into the word every day, and the best tip I have for you is to just hold yourself accountable and make sure you have a set time every day where you're gonna go and have your own space to just really focus in on reading the word. Another great way to stay motivated is to do a Bible study with a friend so y'all can hold each other accountable. You can meet up once a week at a coffee shop, or right now, since we can't really meet up, you can FaceTime each other once a week and just talk about what you read in the Bible and kind of talk about how it spoke to you. So for me personally, how I study the Bible, recently I have been studying the book of Psalms, and I'll read a few pages each day, and then I'll go through and highlight verses that stand out to me, and then I'll go in my notebook and I'll do little doodles and sketches, and I'll write down Bible verses and little phrases in those verses that stood out to me. Drawing and sketching things and verses just helps me memorize stuff, and it's a fun way for me to study the Bible. But yeah, I just really recommend reading a little bit at a time. Every book in the Bible has its own unique meaning and story, and you really just want to make sure you're being intentional when you're reading it so you really digest and understand what the verse is saying. So when I don't know what to read, because there are going to be days where you're going to sit down and you're going to be like, ugh, I don't really have like a certain passage or book or chapter I want to read. I like to play the fun game where I just flip to a random page and then boom, read it. And then some days I'm really like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about studying the Bible. I really want to transition this channel from documenting my cancer journey to doing more Christian Bible talk things, because that's something I'm really passionate about. So yeah, I really hope this video planted a seed in your life to just dive into the word more. What better way to do it than when there's nothing else to do and during Easter. If you ever want to talk about God, or if you ever have any questions, my DMs are always open on Instagram and we can talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed and happy Easter, and I will see you all next week. Bye!